Hi, I'm John Hart and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. So I have my prop here today. I'm going to be showing you a few things with this in a little while. An easy curl bar. So which repetition of a set is the most important one for any given exercise? That's the question today. So I want to first take you down a small road of what an actual set looks like and consists of, okay? So we're going to imagine that you're doing a set of curls. The biceps and the curls are probably the easiest one to describe this with because, well, I have an easy curl bar on my hand right now. No, but actually it can be any exercise that we're talking about. It could be tricep press downs. It could be dumbbell laterals. It could be, overhead presses. It could be whichever exercise you want to do. The truth is that when you go to do any exercise, progressively, let's just call it a set of 10 that you know by your training log, that you know by your own experience with that exercise, that 10 repetitions with a certain weight is probably your best. Your record is maybe 9 or 10, and you want to go today for 10 or 11 perfect reps in really good form, and you're in the gym training hard. So what does that look like? Let's say it's with those curls, those easy barbell curls. So you're going to do a set of 10, and the first repetition is the easiest out of the entire set. Each one gets progressively harder as muscle fibers fail and as waste product builds up within the muscle. Okay? We used to call that years ago oxygen debt, back in biology 101. And also in aerobic activity applies as well. But there's a certain level of oxygen debt within the muscle tissue. The muscle needs oxygen and needs blood flow, and it's starting to fail with each given repetition from 1 to 10. So the harder you train, the closer you get to number 10, the harder the repetition. Repetition number 1 may only require, a 60% effort on your part to complete the repetition in really nice form. But with each repetition it goes, the next one you may need to use 65% effort. The next one after that, 70, 75, and so on until you get close to number 9, number 10. Now those repetitions are the ones where the magic really starts to happen. Because we know there's a trigger, a light switch that goes on within your body whenever you subject it to something that it has not been subjected to before. When you make a demand of it through a certain amount of stress that you put on that muscle to grow another layer of new muscle tissue. That's the goal in bodybuilding. That's what we really want to do, right? So, that being the case, when we get to the end of a set, number 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm going to show you right now what a usual set looks like, and I'll show you from the side while I talk about this. So I'm over here curling the reps, and let's say I've already done 5 repetitions. So this is number 6, and then down it goes. And then 7, a little bit harder, and down it goes. And then 8, and there it is. I'm getting near failure now. And here comes number 9. I give it everything I got with my training partners, my boys yelling at me. Get it! Bam! Oh! Up it goes. And then they go, get one more! Get one more! So here I go. And here it goes. Bam! And it fails right there. But I go, with the encouragement of my boys yelling at me, I go and I lean back a little bit. And I curl it up. And I complete the repetition. And then I put it down slowly. Boom. And I put down that barbell, and it's like a party with my training partners, my boys there in the gym, celebrating. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you got it. And if I weren't to have got it, if I were to have, made the effort right to here, and it doesn't go, and I fight it, and then boom, I put it down, it's almost looked at as if I failed. Oh, now that's the magic word right there that I was looking for. I failed. I didn't make up this name. I don't really particularly like the name of training a muscle to failure. But when we take that muscle to the point where you have failed to get another complete repetition in really, really good form, well, what have you done? At that one point in time when the weight stops moving, your bicep has failed, and you're curling that weight up, you have a choice to make right there. The choice is, do I keep fighting it and try to get every millimeter out of it? And, hey, it's still moving, it's still moving, it's still moving, and it goes on up, and I complete the rep in really good form? Or do I fight it, and no, it's not going to go, and it just sits there until I can't move it any longer, and then I put it down slowly and I take a negative at the end? Or option number 3, the weight gets stuck right there, my bicep fails, and I lean back and throw the weight or lean the weight all the way from point A to point B up near my shoulder. Which one of the 3 options right there would you think is the best one to take for muscular growth, that is? Well, I can tell you out of the 3, which one is just absolutely the worst option of the 3 would be the one where you're leaning back like this, because you just took all the stress off of the bicep. And in whatever exercise you're doing, whether it's a tricep press down or whether it's a dumbbell lateral or a bent over lateral, the moment you start to do that little bit of a cheat on that last repetition and you contort your body away from putting more stress on the bicep, what you've done right there is you've become more concerned with completing the repetition as opposed to beating the muscle into submission. That's what we want. Make it submit into new growth. Beat the muscle to the point where it has no choice but to grow, but to change. And that's what we're after. So I would have taken option number 1 or option number 2. Option number 1, that one where, I'm going to go for it, and guess what? It keeps moving. And with 100% effort, all out, man, I complete the rep. I'd probably go for one more after that. But nevertheless, just my personality, nevertheless, that one's better than leaning, cheating, heaving, swaying, throwing the weight past that sticking point. So I would take that option. The number 2 option was letting the weight get stuck right there and fighting against it in a static hold position, whether it's a curl or a tricep press down or even a calf raise, a leg extension, a leg curl, you're fighting it in good form until you cannot get the repetition and you realize it's not going up anymore, and in fact it starts to go down. So now you've exhausted the static energy in the muscle and it's starting to fail, and you're going into your negative energy, negatives. So lower it slowly in a negative. But I would take that option also above cheating, swaying, swinging, leaning, throwing the weight on the last repetition, the most important repetition of the entire set. Everything that I've led up to, everything is foreplay before that, man. This is the real at that point. This is just straight up orgasm at that point, right? Everything is foreplay prior to that. Playing games. Just prepping the situation for that magical one right there, that explosion right there on that last one. Hey, I'll add a 4th option. The 4th option is the weight gets stuck, and to explain it properly, if this bar had weights loaded on it and it was going up to 100 pounds, and I'm curling 100 pounds for all of those repetitions, and on the last repetition, it gets stuck halfway up. That simply means that my biceps are not capable at that point of curling 100 pounds against gravity. But I may be pulling with 99 pounds at that point. So a good training partner standing on by with just a fingertip of help, lifting maybe 1, 2, or 3 pounds off the bar, it'll start moving. And I can take that one forced rep just like that in really good form. And yet again, if I want to go for 2 forced reps, that's how I do forced reps. is and how I do it with my clients as well, I would have just enough help be added to the bar to make it go through the proper range of motion. That's what we're after, the proper range of motion. Don't change it. Don't throw yourself off all contorted in different positions. This is when you pull muscles in other parts of your body. It's not good. Okay? I'm not saying don't ever do cheat reps. There's a purpose to cheat reps, and that's a whole other video. I'm only saying at this one point in time, if you're taking a set to positive failure, how do you do so? And which is the most important repetition of the set? Well, it's that very last one where the weight gets stuck. And I yell at clients left and right to just fight it. Fight it. I want to see it get stuck. And you know, it's usually a couple of the men, they can't let that go. They have to cheat it on through no matter what I say. And I keep telling them, man, I'm not giving you an award for that. I want to see you get stuck with it and fight it there for 5 or 10 seconds. Now let's see how that feels and see what your biceps feel like the next day. So you hear what I'm saying here? The last repetition of any given set, on almost any given exercise for that matter, whether you're in a machine, dumbbells, barbell, you know, it's understood, right, that you don't do that on squats, you don't do that on deadlifts. I mean, squats, if you're in a power rack and you wanted to play around with that, experiment with it, be very careful. Be very careful. But most exercises you can do that. Take it to the point where you've hit positive failure, the weight is no longer moving, the muscle is starting to fail, and take the choice, take the option right there to keep pushing against it. Keep pulling against it. Keep going at it for another 5 or 10 seconds to see if you can complete the rep in good form. And then see what happens with your physique. So, that's it for today. Listen, before you go, exciting stuff, right? Off to my left, you got a disc that's popping up right now on the screen. That's the subscribe button for my channel. Please give that a tap if you want to be notified when I have new videos pop up. Off to your left, down below, you're going to see a thumbs up button. Will you please hit that thumbs up? It really helps if you give a thumbs up to this video and any of my other videos. It gives great incentive for YouTube to promote the videos even further on the algorithm in YouTube. And that's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart, I look forward to seeing you again.